Going back to Fog Football, guys, and here we are talking about a big issue in Scottish football, and we're talking about the Hibs fans throwing objects at Lawrence Shankland during the Embra Derby, which of course took place yesterday, 1-1 in the game. And as Ewan Cameron is pointing out, we all laughed at Shankland catching a pie and eating it, but this is no laughing matter. And if you actually zoom into this image, so you see the first image there. You can't really tell what it is. It appears to be a bottle opener. That's what it looks like to me. Obviously, I mean, if that cracks you up the dome for that distance, God knows what could happen. I mean, you could be looking at serious brain damage. Now, obviously, yeah, you could just get your head split open, and I'm not downplaying it. But once whoever throws it, you're in the land of the gods. You don't know what's going to happen. Loris Shankland, if that cracks him, man, he'd been very fortunate to escape with injury, and this is too serious. You shouldn't be throwing things. I mean, the pie can be looked at a bit of banter. Unless it's a frozen pie, then I guess that would hurt still in hell. I mean, I guess a cooked pie, if it cracked you in the right place, would still be a relative pain in your temple. But if a bottle opener cracks you in the head, I mean, if that cracked you at the right angle in the neck, you could legitimately die. Now, there is people saying, oh, well, what about this? As you can see, the first response here is, Vic always said or done about this. He actually got booked for getting a bottle thrown at him. You know what? But it's all wrong. It doesn't matter what team you support. Anyone getting objects thrown at them is wrong. It is. All right? It is scumbag behaviour. We've seen it recently. I say recently, I know it was a couple of years. Was it a couple of years ago? When was it? Was it last year? When was it the bottle of Bucky got thrown at Joe Hart and it was smashed up in the penalty box? I can't remember if it was last season or the season before. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It's still a distasteful act there, and it doesn't matter what club it's against across the world, Europe, especially here. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't happen. It has to get called out. And for some reason, people comment like, "Oh, you don't say this about this club." I'll call it any club. I'll call it my own club. I'll call it. No club is going to, be safe from getting lambasted for us here, because at the end of the day, this could have been a serious injury. It doesn't matter. I mean, Shankland's a high-profile player in the league, but it does not matter who. This could have hit a fellow fan. This could have hit a fellow Hibs fan. It could have. If they're throwing it for the top tier, it could, and you've got a shite throw on you, you could easily crack someone at the back of the dome at the bottom tier. And this needs to be prevented. It needs to be called out, and that's why we're talking about it. And it is. And you always hear about, oh, the police are heavy-handed, and you hear people on YouTube talking about how they treat you like it's a maximum security prison and things like that. It's because of the reputation. Yeah, some fans ruin it for others, but that's just the reality of the world. You know, and that's pretty much what happens here. The police, I think they've got just like referees have got a hard job of pleasing everyone, because they can't, even when they get decisions right, man, they're going to get lambasted. The police and the authorities and the stewards have got an equally hard job when it comes to that department. And as you see, we'll check out the footage here of Shankland. Pretty good catch. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Stone Cold Steve Austin catching the beers back in the day and opening a can with Steve Weiser. But this was a pie of Shankland. Doesn't really sound good, doesn't it? Not stealing Chris Boyd's gimmick, one could say. But I mean, at least this was in good taste. But here, like you and Cameron said, it could have very easily have ended badly with that object hitting someone in the head. And you're going to get it on Twitter, but oh well, this club did that, oh your club did that. At the end of the day, it needs to be called out from any club. You can't play a tit for tat game when it comes to these things. And there's a lot of other scandals in Scottish football, and I'm sick of the tit for tat, man. If it's wrong, call it out. Just don't be like, oh well, it's all right if our club does it because your club does it more. That spinning that narrative gets no one nowhere. It really doesn't. But anyway, guys, that's where we're going to leave this video. Oh, thankfully, no one get injured here with these bottle openers getting thrown. And it's not like anything for that distance can do damage. Like we've seen Neil Lennon a couple of years ago, obviously get hit by the coin. We've seen lighters get thrown, etc. And they can cause big damage, but a bottle opener for that distance, I mean, you're talking potentially life-changing damage there, man. Like you could get hit in the head and you could have some form of seizure, so it's not on to see it in the Scottish game, that's for sure. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. I'll be back very soon with some more content. Thankfully, everyone was alright. Until then, peace.